Yo guys, how you doing? We're back with Lenny one more time. There's going to be many more one more times. Just throwing that out there. The last stream we did with this guy, we started getting some of our light values down, and it's starting to look a lot more like how I envisaged this end product to be. We did loads of work getting just like the little reflections of light coming off of the lights themselves. We did plenty of work getting Lenny sorted out. Apparently my lights are not sorted out very well. There you go. God, they're still not. Oh, it's because that's bloody... No. This looks darker than usual. There you go, we'll do that. Yeah. Sorry about that. Spent plenty of time getting Lenny sorted out. He's got plenty of light going on him, but we've still got one light source to do, which is where we're going to start off tonight, and that is the green light that we're going to have coming from here. We've already got this very powerful light source coming in from the front, but we want to have several sources of light, lots of different points of interest on this absolute beast. Obviously, we've got the furnace kitted out, and once we've done our green OSL on Lenny, we can start working on the highlights and shadows done by hand for all of these separate pieces of diorama. So you've still got plenty to do. Loads to do, in fact. In the chat so far tonight, we've got Gumbalina, Leech342, Badtrip84, Main Unit, Scrublord, Sergeant Rolf, Nemod, Epic Ants, who subbed for his 3rd month, absolute superstar, and that's Undes. Also, how can we not forget Viking? How you doing, dude? Good to see you all. Right, let's kick it off with some airbrushing. Got a glove out somewhere. Here we go. This will do. Let's get that green going on. We've had some more interesting lists coming through into the Streamiversary! Exclamation point list. More information on that. While I was waiting for my missus to finish her course yesterday evening, she does like a web-based like extra teaching qualification basically. I sat there playing around with Battlescribe and decided that why not? We could create some pretty banging lists. We've got one I really want to paint, and let me just go and grab that one up right now. It's going to be right near the bottom of this. Here we go. I like the sound of this. Space Doggo's list. Bjorn the Fell-Handed, Dreadnought number 1. 5 Intercessors. Murderfang, Dreadnought number 2. Venerable Dreadnought, Dreadnought number 3. Ooh, yeah. Someone brought your list to a nice friendly like 750 point game. It slapped them. That's a great list. I have no idea how many points that is. What's that like? 310, 410, 5. So just under 600 points. So throw in some more intercessors and that's kind of it. And you've got 750 points. But that's a cool list. It's like Bjorn and the boys. I think that's epic. Gumbalina, bad pun. Bad pun. Lee, how you doing, bro? Crooked Grain, I saw you said that you made it. You did make it, dude. Welcome. Right, we're kicking this off with some Warpstone Glow, one of my favourite greens from G-Dubs. Let's just sort the focus out just a little bit. We're going in with 6-1 flow improvement of paint for this. We're still keeping this crazy thin. All you hear is the compressor. Please don't tell me. No, everything's showing as fine here. You must be out, like everybody else can hear me because. Huh. But yeah, if you can hear the compressor, you can hear the compressor. And yeah, I've moved it ever so slightly away from the drawer, so hopefully slightly less noise. Right, let's go with this green. Which black is your preference? Throw my black from P3. Mad Goat, how you doing, dude? Danny, what up, bro? Alright, so first we need to do is establish the green on our light source. Now this is a very small area, and because we're working so thin, just going to be real patient with it. Not looking to get full coverage in one pass or anything even remotely close to that. Also want to retain just this area being green, not so much the backing of it. Gonna workshop rearrange, so kind of alert. Hey, no worries, dude. Got you. Cheers, Des. All I saw was your message saying all I can hear is the compressor. I'm like, wait, can you not hear me talking? But yeah, get your list in, guys. Exclamation point lists. Go and get the link. Read the pinned post right at the very, very top. We've had some even crazier lists. Anything like that is just a no. Like the entire Harlequin list. Like the entire Harlequin tournament list. That's clearly not on the cards. Sorry, you can't really see this from this angle, but I just need to get into the top end of this little palm scanner. There we go, so we're getting a nice green on there. You deleted that one, yeah, I know, right? Well, sorry, I gave him plenty of time to change his list. Like, okay, so this is going to be difficult to get the right angles for, but essentially we want this to light up this inside face of the hammer, some of this face, the hands, the arm, and some of Carl's back, as well as potentially the back of his hand, but that looks like a little bit too far, like out of the sort of line of light. We want it to have projection pretty much along that sort of line forward. So what's that? Let's look at about 30 degrees from the center point. For me, is a mic. Okay, look, if you can't hear, then I'm really sorry. Maybe try refreshing. If the noise of the compressor is too much, then come back in about 20 minutes or so. Don't normally get anyone with issues with it, so I hope nothing's changed for the rest of you. But equally, there's not a lot I can do about it. Alright, so you can see we're just getting that little light on that hammer. Now we get to these faces, which are the trickier ones. So a lot of this might end up having to be done by brushwork rather than the airbrush. But let's try and MacGyver the shit out of this. You can only get away with this with high pressure, guys. That's why we're leaving it a fair amount of time between trigger pulls. Lets the hose charge up, get under pressure, and then bam, in we go. Nice enough about airbrushing, but is that amount of bubbles in a cup normal? Yeah, so basically, well, we always backflow our paint a little bit to help percolate it, and those bubbles stick around for ages. So, Basil's Arms, how you doing? Yeti Boss, cheers, dude. Dr. Lee Klein, how you doing? Alright, so now let's get some of this green on the hand and working up the arm a little bit. Don't want to go crazy with this. Remember, this is a little, like, palm scanner, just like a little pressure plate. Unlocks the barrier that we had up here. That's all it's there for, and so it isn't going to be super, super, super bright. But then we have to remember that everything we're doing now is going to be slightly exaggerated due to the fact that all of this is in total darkness. So if you put a candle in a well-lit room, there's no real like crazy luminosity from it. But if you put a candle in a dark room, you see just how far its little sphere of influence, that light, really goes. Remember, all of this is the dark at the moment. So trying to get these greens moving in. I think we're doing okay with it. Also, we want to remember that anything that's closer to it will be brighter. Let's try and get some of Carl's back now. So, predominantly just this side of him will be picked out green. We're going to end up with some pretty gnarly desaturated spots, especially on the red of his little cloak as well there. So there's glycerin and flow improver, and that one of the main constituents of soap, which is where the bubbles stick around. There you go. Now I know. But look, they do go. I'm assuming the glycerin is part of the drying retarder. That makes sense. Okay, so I think that's about as far down Carl's back as we want to go, and certainly don't need to go much further upwards. We're looking at trying to retain this kind of angle from our light source. So anything past that line, probably a little bit too far away. So we might be able to get just his elbow, but we'll do that with a brushed highlight later on rather than try and fuzz that in with the airbrush now. So all we're doing right now is just building up a little bit more of that green. And again, and we'll go back and do a little bit more on the light itself in a minute as well. I'm aware that that's starting to be a little bit less bright than everything else that we've got going on. Any more of Lenny? We need to do a little bit more on his leg, I think. So again, just sort of fuzz in a little bit of light there. Needs to be also hidden. The areas that Carl would be in the way. And that midsection. Let's go around from the side here. We shouldn't see much, if anything. No, we can't. So that's good. Alright. Head back over here and do a bit more work on this panel, the light source itself. Okay. So now we've got our green. I'm going to do a little bit more on the hammer. We need to keep this facing dark because that's out of the way of the light, remember? But I think this part of the handle needs a little bit more. Okay. Cool beans. Right. So from the top down, can't see anything. From bang on the side, we can. From this side, you can see literally no green light, just the shadows. Awesome. Disperse it, I think, spread out as much as you can within the medium. That makes sense. I don't know if that's the like active ingredient in soap that makes soap slippery. Who knows? Could be. What we're getting to here, though, is don't drop your flow improver in the shower. Also, don't airbrush in the shower. You know. Airbrush in yellow is the best undercoat for you to create a brighter look. White. But you don't necessarily need to use a white undercoat. So we've done a lot of stuff where we've just pre-shaded. And that's done everything we needed to. We're going in with some Necrotite Green now from P3. Definitely a slippery slope. Terrible. Terrible. That's why I have flow improver on a rope. Nice. I see where we're going now. This is good. Oh, best stream. Would there ever be a risk of developing tinnitus or hearing issues from sounding compressed air coming through the airbrush nozzle? probably got more issues with headphones than an airbrush. I've definitely got more issues having worked in nightclubs for quite a long time in my life. Yeah, no, not good. Yeah, yellow over pink works. Yellow over purple can work as long as it's a lightish purple, still part of the same sort of family. Yellow over something like scarlet, which is a red with a little bit of orange cast to it, works really, really well. Yellow over green can work well. There's loads of ways to do it. Am I feeling better? Yes. I don't remember feeling bad. I'm feeling a bit run down recently, but we're good. We're all good. Thank you very much for asking. Yeah, all the Plague Bearers we did in the Nurgle weekend stream. There was some of those that were done over pink. There were some of those that were done over scarlet. Some that were done over green. And then it was just zenithal yellow ink. We used lemon yellow from Diorama, which is really, really good. Very powerful. Very, very powerful. Good coverage. Comrade Cern, what up, dude? So just bring in that focal point right in the middle of this, up to a brighter version of green. We're using the air to dry that down in between trigger pulls, so it's not to flood that element of our miniature. You see that's getting up a little brighter now. Gonna go pretty bright with it as far as like yellow and green go, but we're not worried too much about increasing its influence on the mini much. Now I'll bring in some of that necrotite green there on the hammer. That's one of the closest elements of the mini to that part, so it needs to be the brightest element of Lenny. Let's hit some more of that hammer, and then we want to start working in a little bit closer on things like its knuckles. You see that back and forth pull we're doing on the trigger, just to put a little bit of paint at a time, dry it with air, and just work it up gradually rather than run the risk when we're working this close on some of these surfaces with paint that's this thin of it just spilling out anywhere. So I reckon we come out to about here, which means we will get some of Carl. We'll certainly get Lenny's other hand just a little bit towards the front. And this is all going to get fine-tuned with brush strokes later on, but for now, just looking to get our gradients down. There we go, so let's lit up those a little bit more. Now let's add in some yellow, so I'm going to flush out quite a lot of this, get a little more flow improver in, then some yellow. Would the light from that button hit the floor? I don't know, I don't think so. Like, if you look at it from this side on, trying to keep it sort of perpendicular, you can see the bottom kind of juts out, so it's at a bit of a slope to make it a bit more ergonomic for when your hand goes to it. It's not like flat to the wall. So I think no, because I think that the light, by the time it would hit the floor, would be sort of right out to about here, where it'd be overpowered by the light coming in from there. I know we've got these shadows. If this was super shiny and reflective, then yeah, it probably would. But the only things that we're going to create that are quite shiny are things like Lenny's hammer, some of his manacles, perhaps that sort of thing. And have everything else be this kind of dull, dirty, nasty part of the underhive. That's my thoughts on it anyway. Tell you what I am going to do, and I said I'd do this all by hand, but I think I'm going to cheat. Just do a little bit with the airbrush, is just come in and just start a little bit of green going on from here. These are going to be like those buttons you used to find in old arcade machines. The big ones you could just like slap. In fact, they're the things that like fruit machines are made out of these days, so that drunk people don't break the fuck out of them. Go and sell some Drakari on its way for tomorrow with the bright yellow armor. Nice. Can't wait to see that in the whip, dude. But these very little glow, they're just there to show that the gate is open, basically. That's it. You should fill it. It's 2. That's because you are a legend. Thank you very much, man. It all helps the stream. All goes into prizes. Speaking of prizes, there's AJ. This is his prize, obviously. But speaking of prizes, the Patreon voting channel is open for those of you a video viewer or higher. Go and cast your vote for this week's addition to our prize pool. It's very, very close at the top. There's plenty of room for anything to win it, but right now it's looking like one of 2 miniatures. I'm not going to say what they are. Just you know, don't want to leak that info just yet. But they're both very cool. They're both very, very, very cool. If I had my choice, there'd be one particular one out of the 2 that I would vote for. So if it comes down to a tie, I know where we're going. But could be anything right now. Right. So we've added in some yellow. Bam, you can see we're really getting bright now in the center of that point. Polly! 8 months. 1 more month for a stream, baby, he says. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. How's it going, champ? Dry this down a little bit there before we put on our next bit of paint. And so, bringing up that yellow-green with the bottom edge of the hammer there. Get a couple of those like tenderizing plates, I guess. Don't really know what else to call those. Hey, my Hawk, do you find Scale 75 is a bit speckly out the airbrush? Not once you've thinned it like 3:1. It's thick. You need to really thin that. It's like custard. Once you've got it thinned right, though, god damn, it's amazing. Airbrush is like a champ. Done a champ! Speaking of champ, there's a champ right there. How are you, dude? 6 months gets you a new badge. Very aggressively into the whiskey jar there. I'm liking it. About time, it is the Patreon voting one. Yeah. So it's video viewer or higher Patreons get to vote on stuff. So if you can't see it, it's probably that you're not a video viewer. For anyone else that's looking, I'm pretty sure you are. Awesome, super helpful. Good, man. Good. Can't hurt to just drop a little bit of water in it at times, but it's something I try and avoid doing. Just because you can go from being not quite thin enough to way too thin by adding water. There's definitely a break point where enough is enough, and you've exceeded it. Right, just want to get the underside of his hand just a touch more. There we go. So that's a really powerful green. I'm loving this. We should do green OSL so much more. Yellow, blue, black, and red. That sounds banging, dude. There's a Drukari list in the army lists one, and I really like it, but I think it's like a little too deep. I think it was Gummers. Yeah. So, Homunculus, 10 racks, a load of Talos, and a Raider. I think we'd probably have to get rid of the Raider out of that, but the Talos are fucking sick minis. I love them a bit. Also, why have you put splinter cannons on them? I mean, haywire for life, bro. So, but yeah, I think it's a good list. But maybe not the Raider. Well, maybe the Raider. We'll see. Leave it in there. We'll see if it gets some votes. Right, are we going to go any brighter than that? I think we will, because we need to brighten this up a little bit more, and we might just hit the front corner of that on that side. Over here, though, keeping this relatively dim. Just want to pop out a little bit more on the buttons themselves. That's enough. So you can just see them in the background there. They don't really add much. It's just there. Again, we'll flush this through, add in some more. Yeah, it's got one, says Des. Good lad. Don't forget to vote for your own list as well, guys. Like, if you submitted the list, vote for your list. Because you obviously want to see it, you know. Wow, suddenly got real tired. Yes, video viewer or higher. Yeah. Liang! How you doing, bro? Give me 1 second, Kai. So, Discord has you down as weekly reader tier. Give you 1 minute. Let me just double check Patreon. It might be that when you have signed up at 1 level, if you changed your level, then Discord won't get like updated. Yeah, that's what you've done. Alright, sweet. Easy to fix. Done. Sorted. You should have access now. See, we can do technical things. Can do technical things. It's possible. It happens. Very rarely. It's a beautiful thing when it does, though. It's Chinese New Year and I'm pretty stuffed. Nice, dude. You do anything nice for it? So, what year is it now? The only way I know what year Chinese New Year is because of the Davidoff release of that year. So, you know. Oh, Des, you're fantastic. No props. I'm glad you felt like you were helping. Glad you felt you're helping. Right. Metal. Wait, why is there metal? Surely it's just animal, not like Full Metal Alchemist. There you go, so that little bright spot right in the middle of that palm scanner now. And then we'll do the same on the hammer because that's going to be super reflective. Just in that bottom corner there. Bam! Got that power! Alright, let's flush this through. And we're done with the airbrush for quite a large part of this project. Now we're looking at many brushed highlights. So, tell you what, we will... Actually, the first thing I'm going to have to do is put the shadows back in a little bit more by hand, just to be sure that they're all in the right place. Got to do that first. Metal, wood, wait, really? God, I didn't know that. Huh. Who knew? Obviously quite a lot of people, but... You're Viking, they probably think that you are as well. And we'd all concur, so... You know? Right. So, like I said, we're going to probably have to put some of these shadows back in before we start working on the highlights. And kind of unsure where to like really begin. All of this can basically be sort of left as it is, and it will just get some highlights to sort of bring out some of the detail. So let's go through what we used for the shadows. We had a lot of black, some Inky by Darkness, some Nagaroth Night, and then we worked up to brighter blues when we got much further up the structure. So let's just prep our palette with some of these, and we can kind of work in these shadows as glazes where we need it. KVLL or K7, that could be K7. Thank you very much for that raid. How you doing, dude? Thanks for joining us. How is your stream? If we can get a shout out, everyone give them a follow. It's not a name I've seen before, so I'm going to give you a follow. Colour would do, mate. Ah, okay. That makes plenty of sense. Thank you. Gabriel Jester, thank you for that follow. There you go. I'm giving you a follow as well now, bro. Oh, you're like this far from affiliate. Come on, everyone follow. Do it. What were you streaming? What were you up to? We are working on this, which is a diorama that was given away on the end of last month's stream. Nugan. That's all I got. Sorry, man. I am dyslexic as fuck, and I can't even work out where the breaks would be in syllables in that one. But thank you for follow. Sorry for completely destroying your name. Playing Corvus Cabal. Nice. Very nice. That's the Warcry team, gang, warband, I assume. So, nice, man. They look like cool minis. Very cool minis. I used to have to hide my glue, keep building models instead of painting them. Oh dear. Want to build some Deathwatch? Jabolion! How you doing, bro? Okay, so we've got black, Inky by Darkness, and purple on our palette. Let's get some water on there as well. Can't spell it correctly too, so that's fine. It's all good, dude. Like I said, dyslexic. I wouldn't know if you had. Just the way it is. Okay, so to show you guys that just come in, what we've got is like a furnace, and we've got these like this plinth that's being lit up by the light from the furnace. We've got Lenny and Carl, Abominant and his little mate, and then there's a little couple of extra bits that just provide some nice sort of backdrop to our diorama. A little bit of stuff on the floor, like this little fan. Okay, so we've got all of these things that we're working with, and we finally have finished getting all of the shadows down by airbrush and all the light effects by airbrush. And now what we need to do is go in and start bringing some highlights up on these to ensure there's plenty of detail and depth. And the first thing we need to do is come into all of these areas that are desaturated like this. You can see just in the head where we've got our original shadows, and then some of the airbrush overspray has kind of crept in, and we need to start bringing those shadows back in. We don't want it to be full black, which is kind of what happened here after the washes that we did. And we need to start getting that interest in there. So we need to bring our colours back through in bands. So, as we worked up the miniature, when we got to about this level, we just started working in some blue. So let me grab a little bit of blue and put that on our palette as well. Signal blue base we need for that. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to end up mixing various sort of colours into each other. We'll start off down here at the feet because this is where we started working in purple, then we can work in that inky by darkness as we get brighter and higher up, and then the blues towards the top end of things. So let's grab some purple. Grab a little dot of black paint to darken that right down. And this isn't necessarily the highlight on our shadows. The Drunk Mystic! I didn't even know you were streaming, dude. How's it going? Everyone, if you're not already following Drunk Mystic, do give them a follow. One of these days I'll paint some Necrons, like the only lighting is the OSL from them. That would be sick, dude. That would be sick. Right, so we've got a very dark purple on our brush now. This might still be too purple. Looking at this, I think it is. We're going to start working in. Maybe we could just get away with doing some of the highlights of our shadows at this point as well. We'll give it a shot, see what happens. So from the back, everything will be in almost total darkness. That's why we've got this set of colours on it. All good, man. Mini's looking awesome. Cheers, dude. And just gonna double check I do follow you. I'm reasonably sure I do. Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. And we did get you to affiliate as well. Fantastic. Good stuff, bro. Oh, something really, really nice. So we're going to bring this up a little brighter in areas as well. We're going to have to, otherwise you just won't see any of the detail, and what's the point in painting it if that's going to be the case, right? Is Timmy not back today? I know Jaeger said he couldn't make it. I haven't seen him yet. Probably too busy laughing still at the joke I made in the mods channel. You know. But don't know. Yeah, Jaeger is not doing so well. Just get the average up for affiliate with numbers there. Oh, I see. I'm glad, bro. I'm really glad. Alright, so let's just paint some of the creases of this. Okay, let's start working some red in there as we get a little bit further up. So we'll stop what we're doing there for a sec. And let's work on the hammer haft. Feels weird to be highlighting something with such a dark colour, but this is kind of where we're at with the mini, so don't want to go any further because we've got the green starting to come in now. Okay, so let's just take a little bit of just purple, thin that out a little bit. 10 salvo, so yeah. Make sure you manage up 40 followers. Hey, no worries, dude. I'm glad we could help. Let's bring these highlights up. Get some of that chain, but just this side of it. So I'm just going to blow my nose. This is really nice. Glath Games, how you doing? It's looking good. We've just got all of the manual work to do now. We've done all of the airbrush side of things, which was really, really good. Happy we've got that down. Excuse me, sorry about that. So yeah, Frank's looking a little bit washed out at the moment, as you'd expect with all of that extra light on him, but we've got plenty of work left to do on him, reinvigorating some of those shadows, brighten up a lot of those light areas. Loads of highlights to do everywhere. What we're doing now is we're starting at the back, and we're starting to bring up our shadow a little bit, so that as we work across the miniature, we can start to glaze back in some of the shadows that should be there, that the airbrush has kind of wiped out a little bit. So that's where we're at the moment. We're basically highlighting black with purple, and we've got final highlights to do past this for sure. Where we're going to have to keep them super small and just pick out all the little bits that might have a glint in the darkness. But we need to be sure that all of this detail does stand out. But how are you anyway, dude? How's things? Some of the painting is the result of years of hobby and practice, or did you go to art college or uni? So my GCSE art teacher told me that I didn't have an artistic bone in my body and would never amount to anything, so please don't take art for A-level. And my A-level design and technology teacher gave me no choice but to drop his course because the standard of my work he didn't think was acceptable because he didn't like my drawings. That was it. So it's just blood, sweat, and years. I've been painting for 20 years. Well, probably a little more, but not a lot more. However, there's only been about like 5 years or so of like real focus on getting good. And as you can see, we've got miles to go. So you know we're doing all right, but there's plenty of progress still to be made. But the purpose of the stream, and the purpose of the stream has always had, is to help you guys so that you don't have to go through 20 years worth of work. You can get a bit of a head start by me showing you some techniques, some tips and tricks, especially the airbrush and things like that, to help sort of progress. James Stewart Wild getting on Patreon, absolute superstar. If, by the way, you are having issues with Discord and not accepting the fact that you are now a video viewer Patreon, let me know and I'll sort you out. Geeky Teniki D&D fan, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Scrub Lord, how you doing, bro? So, I have no like talent. I've said this a lot. There's no like natural talent. What I have is I spent years and years and years pissing around with a paintbrush, and then I spent a few years trying to really get good at what I do. And you just need to keep plugging away, basically. That's all it is. Just practice. Just remember the fact that every single time you touch your brush to a miniature, you are giving yourself the opportunity. Yeah, we can go in closer and work a little close. There you go. Give yourself the opportunity to learn something with every single brush stroke. Remember that fact. Yeah? Just be conscious of what you're doing, so you've always got that opportunity for improvement. Think about the way your brush moves, the way you're holding the brush, the way you're holding the mini in relation to it. Think about the consistency of your paint with every brush stroke. Don't get like analysis paralysis or anything. You know, feel it rather than sort of think about it too much. But it's all there. Where's the best place to get the dropper bottles from? Yeah, I got mine from Amazon, I think. Buy 20mm. So here's the old ones I got, which are 15mm, I think, and they're good enough for a GW pot. But these are 20mm, which fit P3, and they also fit just in general, obviously, more paint. So by the time you thin down the paint, it definitely is just about big enough. But dropper bottles, especially if you airbrush a lot, absolutely save you so much time, save you so much paint. Alright. Just going to cut in here and bring up some highlights on the inside leg, just so we... Bizarrely, what we're painting isn't something that would catch extra light. We're just highlighting it in something that isn't quite as dark as everything else to be able to see the detail. And that's why we've done all those purple highlights here. You can barely see them, but look at the difference between this and this. You can see a little bit more clearly what's going on. So it's all helping. It's all good. Got red to mix in with this to get up through Carl's robe, cloak, whatever you want to call it. Feels weird to be highlighting just essentially a statue. I know all minis are basically small statues, but normally you'd be highlighting an element of something. So I'm painting, for instance, his dungarees. Yeah, there's a highlight of dungarees, but normally you'd be doing this highlight in whatever coloured dungarees he's wearing, not just ambient background colour. So this has all been a very strange experience. Okay, so I think that's all of our purple for Lenny and Carl from that side. Let's look around here and see if there's any parts of this that need to be glazed on. I think there are. So let's take our darker purple, just a little bit purple mixed in with black, turn that into a glaze with just with water. Don't need mediums and stuff. Jason, how you doing, man? These be lurks into the highlights. I can't really start thinking about them in any terms other than highlights, mate. Otherwise, I'm going to confuse the living shit out of myself. Right now, we're applying shadow. So that I'm perfectly comfortable with. But they're still highlights. They're just highlights on something that is already quite dark. Whereas what we're doing now, as soon as we're back around the front, is finding elements of the mini that should still have a dark shadow, and we're bringing those back in. That's going to help us get some of that definition back that we lost when we started doing all of that airbrush OSL. So for instance, there's a big recess right in here. That needs to be much darker. We've got recesses around the very crinkly line of his pants there. So yeah, Danny, this has been a challenging mini to paint. Like I know one of the guys that's in the contest, and we've got almost no chance of winning. Stuart Rumpelmaster, some of you may know him under that name from Instagram. He's a really good guy, good friend, and a phenomenal painter. Like, there's a man with some fucking talent who happens to be completely colorblind, literally sees his shades of grey, and produces some of the most incredible miniatures I've ever seen. It's madness what that man can create. Does everything in non-metallic metal, and has gotten really good at it over the years. Definitely knows his shit. Oh, I've got a really itchy fucking nose. So, yeah, we've got almost no chance of winning the contest. But now it's just about getting this done as well as I can and learning what we can from painting something in this style. Now what we're doing is we're trying to bring in some of the shadows around this little icon that he's got, bring in some of the depth on the cloak. You see, let's look at this crease just here for now. If we put a very small amount of this purple glazed in there. It just brings in that definition, gives it a bit more of a snap, right? That's what we want. So let's hit this little icon a little bit. Get some of the links in this chain. Not the easiest thing to paint this. Which is why we're doing our shadows with a glaze as well. It's a little bit more forgiving when it inevitably goes wrong. Nightmare, how you doing, bro? There you go. Whew. It's got most of those little lines inside that weird washboard bamboo style cup that he's got there. 10 minutes and I'm out of work. Nice, dude. Nice. Typhus Nurgle, how you doing, man? Good to see you again. Glad you're enjoying the mini. So let's get some separation in now between his loincloth and his dungaroos. Now, it would have been much easier had we not glued Lenny on. However, I wanted to be sure that whenever we did any of our light sourcing, it was all in the right place. So I wanted to fix him in place so we knew exactly where everything was going to be. So, stressed. Sucks, man. Unlucky. Right. Just want to get a shadow in here, just above the knee. Not here. Well, maybe we can just get a really thin one in. Yeah, that's better. Not needed it. Again, just looking for that definition. See, I like streaming. Like, I love streaming, in fact. I think it's fucking brilliant. If only for the fact that, much like it was when I was cage fighting, when you're streaming, all you've got to worry about is this. That's it. Everything else can fuck off. You know, all the other problems can go away. Just got to worry about having a chat with your mates, which is all of you, painting something and just trying to be positive and everything else. And because you're trying to be positive, and I'm not always positive, I'm well aware of that. Sometimes we're incredibly critical. But because you're trying to be positive and you have that feeling of being positive, then it tends to uplift you a little bit. So even when I'm pissed off and stuff, streaming's great. People that have been around for a while will know when I'm annoyed and I want to stream. Because I'll bring out the like nailed it kind of line a little bit more often. So just building more droids for a legion for a friend. With each one I just want to start an army of my own. Fair. I've never been into Star Trek. God, at some point I will watch the rest of The Mandalorian, I promise. It's just hard to find time. Right, way too many things to do. My desk is literally covered in blood angels right now. From all the way over here to all the way over here, there's just blood angels. Polly, there you go. There's that reaction. I'll tell you what, there's nothing like trolling the Battlestar Galactica nerds. They hate it. So alright, man. Well, look, you take care. Hope you stream. If you do, hope you enjoy it. There we go. So just blocking in some more of those shadows. So we've done lower body shadows, and that's just that little bit has really helped that definition. So I think we'll continue with this. Don't necessarily want to keep using purple though. It is a strong contrasting colour. Obviously that helps out quite a lot, but it's one way we can get away with using the glazes for it. Glazes, like I said, somewhat forgiving. Yeti boss, how you doing? You need to watch Mandalorian for the end of the year. Can't say why, you just do. Okay. By the end of the year, alright, I got time. It's fine. This was last. Oh, Jesus. I enjoyed it. In fact, I enjoyed it enough that I couldn't paint while it was on. And so, because I can only watch it when I'm doing nothing else, and you can imagine how often that happens, right? It just doesn't get watched. It was cool, though. It was cool. Swimmitures, brilliant. Dear oh dear. Thanks, bro. Glad you're liking it. Like I said in the Instagram post that we put up just as we went live, and if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, !social, I do encourage you to. Because every time we go live, we put up a little alert on Instagram. It means that if you don't get your Twitch alert, which happens every now and again, you still won't miss any of the stream. You'll still be here to get all your meeps, which you'll need, !win, and so on. Nightmare, I read a lot of audiobooks. Yes, that's right. I read a lot of audiobooks. We have them on while I'm working. Because it's one of the only ways that I can actually enjoy a book. I don't have to worry about something being on, distracting my attention. We've nearly finished the end of the Ravenous series, which is Ravenous Rogue. Such a great book. Dan Abnett, phenomenal writer. If you guys haven't read the Ravenous series or the Eisenhorn series, I can wholeheartedly recommend them. They're brilliant. I think up next we've got... I think I've got some of the Eisenhorn ones, but I don't think I've got the full series. I know I've got Xenos, which is the newest one. And I'd rather go back and revisit the original trilogy as an audiobook before listening to the new one. You know what? This purple's doing really, really well for this. And I've just realised that this guy has got... Are these metatarsals? I'm pretty sure that's that bone, like this bone in your hand. He's got 2 metatarsals per finger. And I don't know why, but I find that really disturbing. Ugh. How you write 1 word on chopping board for as long as it's safe for work. Yeah. Yeah, could do. But it's definitely an option. How many channel points? I think that's a lot. I think that would have to be a lot of channel points because we've got a lot of people with a lot of channel points. The Horus Heresy books are great, Des, but I finally, about 3 months or so ago, maybe less, no, probably more like 2, I finally got through all of the Horus Heresy books in the main story. So all of the Heresy ones, and then all of the Siege of Terror ones. Haven't read any of the Primarch series and stuff like that. Got all those left to come. But tend to just pick up an audiobook when they either have their occasional but quite frequent buy a load of books at £3 a book sale. That's a great sale on Audible when that happens. Gaunt's Ghosts, they're not all on Audible. Oh, damn. I saw one of them up in this latest £3 sale. Haven't picked it up yet. I was the victim of fucking debit card fraud the other day, and so obviously haven't used Amazon because I haven't had a card. Basically, sites like Amazon I tend to put to my debit card. Any sites that I don't recognise, or sites that I'm like, well, I'm only going to make one purchase on this ever, or basically aren't Amazon. that encompasses everything else, and that don't take PayPal. It's credit card. But fucking card fraud. You got a text message. Right. Did you make the following transaction in rubles earlier on today? Right. And then make this transaction in Sainsbury's for 90p. I made one of those transactions and it wasn't the one in rubles. God damn it. Dear oh dear. I think we do need to do something more with channel points. Like, we really do. But I'm open to suggestions. They've got to be decent suggestions, though. And remember, the point of the channel is to do some painting and have some fun, but kind of in that order. Channel points, J Sing Sea Shanty. I don't know any. Pirate's Life for me is about as good as I can get. Good, I'm glad ex-adventurer. Yeah, like the bank I'm with, HSBC, I worked for about 4 years, 5 years, and they're a good bank, and their fraud systems are great. You know, they've got their head in the right place and so on when it comes to it. But it still sucks when it happens. You know, it's just one of those unfortunate things. Annoyingly, I'm reasonably certain that the source of my card fraud was me paying a fucking bill at Scottish Power over the phone with some utter cretin. Channel point shows off on a tangent with a random story from his past. Tell us a story, 50k. Tell us a story, 50k. Yeah, fuck it. How do I think I've got to do something on this screen. So I think I'll just skim it at the petrol station. Rough. Right, got to log in here and then search for channel. No, it's not in there. Fuck. Community. Right, let's try it on my Twitch page instead of that page then. We get 10k, not 50. 50 is nuts. No, 50k is fine. For now. Drop it down once people have spent everything. Create a dashboard. Viewer rewards, channel points. There we go. Enable channel points. No, I should bin them off. Manage rewards and challenges. Here we go. Viewers can crowd from big rewards to channel fund. Price them high to last long. What? Create a community challenge. Right? I'm not going to go into that right now. Add new custom reward. Alright, here we go. Tell a story. Enter amount. 50,000 channel points. Bang. Reward icon. You can have icons? Tell you what, it's the big one. Let's do... If we go to... Badges. Oh, damn it. The wrong size. It's going to have a piss at me if we try that one. Okay, let's go to... Emotes. And we'll do... Oh, that's so annoying. Right, can't do it. Can't do it. Because we need to create new sizes for the emotes. Basically, I can instantly get my emotes like approved. So I need one image, but this isn't an emote, and so it needs multiple images for the reward icon. So can't do that. I need to create smaller images for the reward icons based on the emotes that we've got. So I've just got to do like a 56 pixel one and a 28 pixel one. 100k channel points for a hint of the mystery box. Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Jay takes a shot, 10k. No, because Des would kill me. Tell the difference between a wash product and a wash technique. I'd do that anyway. Just do a small... No, there's no reveals. No reveals. I'd have to create like a cryptic clue for it, but I think that would be good. I think it's a really solid one, but big expense. I like that. Community saves up, puts their champion forward to redeem their channel points for that. I think it's great. Right, so now we're blocking in some of this larger shadow area, still with a glaze, but just trying to smooth out some of this desaturated area that we've got. Making very thin, and we get some darker shadows built into that as we go. Instantly 10 people ask for hints. Yeah, I know, right? 500k shadow mystery box in PM on Discord. I'd have to get people to sign like a fucking NDA for that, but... Squeeze L! 7 months, on a streak for 7 months. Absolute superstar. Spiffy, he says. Thank you very much, dude. How you doing? Thank you for that subscription. Tell what we could do, like 500k. Request a YouTube video. Mini painting related, obviously. But like request the tutorial to be created and put up. That would be a banger. Yeah, Des, you spend a lot though on like highlighting messages and stuff. Yeah. Get these glazes in here. Always working from point of least to point of most impact on a miniature. Talk about that technique a lot. So you can see we're just going over onto the flesh side of it there. You can see that's just a little bit wet from the fresh paint, that glaze. $1 million points, legs whacked. Fuck no. 5 million J makes an OnlyFans. Hell no. Hell no. 2 million head shave, no hawk. Fuck no. We're not doing no hawk miniatures. Ichu! How you doing, bro? Alright. And Zig! Thank you for that host, man. 500k, Jay paints his hair with the current colour. We tend to do that, so that happens with donations. It's normally Viking, and the donation doubles every time. So eventually I'm going to be a millionaire with, 1 million. You cook a mini of their choice from your collection. Why would I cook a mini? You've been here for 10 minutes, Tilts, and you're already throwing out completely ass suggestions. What is this craziness? Haven't you got a load of knights to paint? I like the Tell a Story one. 50k Tell a Story, I like that a lot. I think that's a good one. 1 million points, J cooking stream. I would do a cooking stream. Like, I honestly would do a stream where I cook steak. But the thing is, the stream would only last for about maybe 12 minutes. And most of that would just be a steak resting in a pan. So, you know. 500k, J takes part and rebuild the Iwata. Like, do that often enough anyway. Alright, so we're adding those shadows in, but we're being really, really, really careful about this. You can see we're just getting a little bit more definition there in the face. But cook sides, that's brilliant. I would happily do a cooking stream though. It wouldn't be like binging with Babish. It would be... What would the tagline be of the Mohawk cooking stream along those sorts of lines? Come on. I fucking love Babish. He's brilliant. I watch all of his shit. But what would we call it? Moaning with Mohawk. Munching with Mohawk. Mohawk cookatures. That's a good one. Munching with Mohawk is a good one. Munchies with Mohawk. That's definitely bringing in the wrong crowd there, man. Mediocrity with Mohawk. That's our regular stream. You can't... Oh. What is... Dude. No. Hellstorm in a teacup. We could do that, obviously. I would watch this shit. Yeah. Onion Kings. I'm glad. Found a Mohawk in my soup. Quiet down. Everyone will want one. Jam with Jay. No, that would be if I learned how to play the guitar. Dancing streams would be Mosh with Mohawk. And not aired either. So Mohawk mastications. Oh dear. Man food with Mohawk. It's good. It's good. Mohawk versus food, obviously. Yeah, I'd love to do a cooking stream. I've actually been on BBC 2. Was it BBC or ITV? Oh, fuck, I'm going to have to look this up. Give me 1 minute. What is the perception of Gordon Ramsay while you're at it? Just curious. I think Gordon's one of the best people ever. Genuinely. Restaurant Man. Pretty sure his name was BBC Two. I've been on BBC Two. The Restaurant Man with like Russell Norman. All right. This was a long time ago. And it was when I was working at a place called The Bell. Restaurant Man. The Bell in Selsley. Let's see if I can get the... Oh, trying to... Oh, yes, here we go. Come on. No, damn it. Come on. I can't find the episode. I don't know if it's still on the thing. But, honestly... Oh, fuck. This episode is not currently available. Fuck's sake. This is it. So this is Debbie and Dave for the people I used to work with. And this is not me. Alright, this was their previous chef, whose name was like Raphael or something. Began with Nah. And he was fucking terrible. And he got fired after being there for a month. Bear in mind, they weren't open for 3 weeks of that month, right? And there is a part of this thing. I've literally turned up on a trial shift for this place, right? And Dave, the owner, who's the guy in the picture that doesn't look like he's had an education, comes into the kitchen and goes, "There's a TV crew coming in a minute. Here, stand there and peel some apples." I'm like, right, firstly, what? And also, you're giving me 3 fucking apples. How long are you expecting this to take? And so I've stood there and I peel one, and there's no fucking camera about it. Oh, I'm gonna have to just... Don't really know what to do. So I got the apple. So let's pretend this blob of blue tack is the apple. And instead of peeling it with the knife, I just turn the knife over. It's going to go horribly wrong. Instead of peeling it, I turn the knife the other way around and just sort of ran like the back of the knife over the apple for ages, waiting for this fucking camera to turn up. And this camera turned up. This guy had a conversation with Dave about how his mate had come into the restaurant as a mystery diner. DK Knowles, how you doing? And I had sausage and mash and decided it was okay. And it clearly wasn't good. So when we watched the episode, and we all watched it in the pub live, the guy was like, "How was it?" I'm like, yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was... Clearly, it wasn't. And I thought it was fucking hilarious, and we all thought it was an absolute joke. But when Dave's explaining about how, like, he likes to cook and everything else, there is a brief, like, half a second of me just with a shit-eating grin on my face, like, yeah. And whoever edited it clearly thought this guy doesn't know how to fucking cook, and it must have been terrible. But we've got this great clip of one of the young chefs in there pulling a bit of a stupid face. Makes it look like absolutely fucking... No, it wasn't. So I've been on BBC Two as a chef. So there you go. There you go. We've done cooking on TV. Peeling some apples. Found an episode. Drop link in links on Discord. Is it the one? It fucking is. Oh god, let's see if we can find it. Let's see if we can find Jay on the Beeb. Oh, it's the full episode. Crazy. Can you skip through? Yes, you can skip through. There's Debbie and Dave. They're fucking useless, a pair of them. He was a bellend and an alcoholic, and she thought she was the bee's knees. And there's a bit where he stood outside a barn or something. Come on, where's the fucking thing? I think this might have been pre-Mohawk, I can't remember. Oh, it's got to be in here somewhere soon. I'm looking at the venue now. The tough financial realities that you've just failed. Oh fuck! I've missed it somewhere in here. There was basically a scene where this guy's mate, this mystery shopper, was walking up and down alongside a... Let you see. Sorry, I should have done this from the... Ah! That was me! That was me! Right! Here it is. Here's him and his mate. clearly fucking wouldn't be.
5 weeks after their very disappointing opening, I'm back to find out if this business has a
Oh,
have they
God almighty.
managed to maintain the high standards of service and food?
No, because he was fucking useless. And right in here on... There's me, about 50 pounds lighter than I am now. That's Yarrick. You can just about see the mohawk in the background there. I was real skinny by this point, mate. Mohawk peeler, yeah.
What do you think? I would hope so. It was very good. It was very good. Thank you. It was indeed, actually. That's really good.
There you go. That's me on BBC Two. There you go. Oh, fucking hell. I haven't thought about that in... I couldn't tell you how long, but there you are. That was me on the telly. Hairline hasn't shifted. This bit has. So this bit was probably about here in that. It's maybe gone back about 10 mil. 10 mil. That face is amazing. Yes! Drunk Mystic. 100%. 100%. Make it the follow gif. God, maybe. Maybe. But yes, there you go. There you go. We are so lucky to have 7 jobs currently. I had a bloke decorating my house for the last 3 days. Chatting to me is a Ryanair pilot on furlough. He's decorating now to try and pay his mortgage. Fairness be true. Oh. Need to wash that out. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Dude, look at the fucking name of that clip link. Tough Succulent Tray, DB style. What the shit? Was that the clip of what we'd just done? Yeah, it was. What a name. That was terrible. You should be ashamed of yourself. God almighty. But yes, there you go. Little known fact about me, I've been on TV twice. Once as a chef, once was wrestling on the Welsh Channel 4. So that was wrestling on Channel 4 is the important part to take away from that sentence. The fact was the Welsh Channel 4 has nothing to do with it. For anyone that's a little bit like, I don't get the difference. Wales has their own Channel 4 that literally only they watch. And most of them don't watch it. They watch the real Channel 4. So. Ex-Adventurer, that's a bit fucking shady. Can they actually do that? Like, is that legal? That sounds a little bit not legal. In fact, fuck it. It sounds quite a little bit not legal. Jesus. That's terrible. Got here late just in time for that clip. Awesome. It's risk assessment. Fuck. Is it really? It sounds a lot like discrimination. That's why I'm wondering if that's a thing that they can do, because they're not going to put your mate on furlough because his wife is an accountant. You know, it just seems a bit. Right, so we've got a mix of purple and Inky by Darkness, and we're just working the sort of highlights, the dark highlights on the top section of our Abominant. We're using paint that's quite thin, but we're trying to create some kind of dynamic shadows. So we're keeping these small and keeping the amount of shadow quite large, because at the end of the day, we want the difference in hue, the difference in value to show up, rather than it just be a super smooth blend. Poly, most of them have at least had their first dose, if not some of them have had their second. So, wow. X-Adventure, that shit, I'd have definitely picked up the phone or even like video chat or whatever and said, look, listen now. I'm assuming you can't work from home. But that sucks, man. I mean, I'm lucky I can do what I do in general, let alone do what I do throughout the pandemic. We've had a cancellation of a commission, but we filled it pretty much instantly. Sent 2 messages to 2 people, was told yes immediately by both of them. So, you know, I'm very, very fortunate, despite having lost my job due to COVID. So, not like Dez's pilot, mate. Oh, that was just horrible, Desmond. Free Sirius Black, brilliant. Brilliant. Are you booked even more now, or did you fill in the cancellation? Fill it in. Put it in. We're still booked up to probably October. And I have been since about December. Free Sirius Black is my girl. Hyder Towson's girl. Welcome to the stream. God, the fucking restaurant, man. I can't believe that sprung into my head. Also, I'm super glad we managed to find it as well. Jesus. Things we've done, eh? Just a quick one. I've been offered 2 armies to buy. Can only afford 1. Both 2,000 points. 1 Necrons, 1 Tyranids. Any thoughts on which one I should buy? I'm torn. What's in the lists? Because I love Necrons. I think they're great. But if the list is a load of Wraiths and Flayed ones, which will be fine crap, then definitely Nids. Regardless of what's in the Nids list. If it was a good Nids list, maybe. Curious now, how long have you been rocking the Mohawk? This time around, let's see. I was with my missus for 7.5 years, so that's 7. And we've been split up for 3 and a bit, so about 10 years this time around. No, for about 9 years this time around. Yeah, I think 9 years. That clip was from 2014, right? So it was a year before that. But I had one previously as well, because basically the headspace I was in, I needed something to change, and that was the only thing I actually had any control over was my hairstyle. So I gave myself a mohawk. You know, you do what you've got to do when you're in a situation like that. But I liked it. It's something I'd always wanted, and it was low maintenance. It's just when I went back to work at the bank, obviously they were like, that's got to go. Which is understandable. So, June to December last year, 7 days this year, and got mental. Fuck, man. X Adventure, that. There you go. Work on the positives, right? You're building your Meeps balance up nice and high for the next giveaway. Mohawk said in my bank open tattoo displays too. Nice. Mine definitely not. But again, this was nearly, well, in fact, that was over 10 years ago. So there was no chance of having the hawk at all. And back then, I don't think I even had any tattoos. Now I've basically got one tattoo. It's just, it starts like down here and then works all the way over my shoulder, down most of my arm, across over my back, and it you know, basically it's just one. You reckon Liamski? Nice. Well, fortunately, I'm never going back to work for them. That was one of the most soul-destroying jobs I have ever had. Did not like it at all. But it paid the bills. Ended up that weird trapped feeling. You know how you keep going to a job that barely fucking pays the bills because it still pays the bills, but you didn't want to keep like looking for another job, so you ended up just staying there. Well, that was it. I was going to join the army. I don't know if I've told you guys this, but I was going to join the army back when I was 26. I started looking at it, right? And it's a massive life decision. I didn't want to make it lightly, so I thought, right, well, I'd like to join. And I found a few jobs that I'd like to do, but what I think I need to do is just have a think about this for a long time. So if I still feel this way in 6 months, then sure, we'll enlist and we'll join up. And the plan was to join the army, serve 22 odd years, come out with a decent amount of savings, ideally a house bought and paid for. I knew I'd better do it because the job I was going to apply for, the starting job was ammunition technician, which would then become ammunition technical officer. And ATOs are bomb disposal. So I was going to go in and play with a multi-million-pound robot and shoot little tiny jets of water and kill bombs. That was my ideal career in the army. Now, they make you a sergeant pretty fucking Ricky Tick, because you need to be able to get to a scene where there may be an explosive device and command people. So they give you lots of training. And I knew I'd be smart enough to do it. And frankly, I think I was mental enough to do it. So even if it came down to cut the blue wire, cut the red wire, I thought I'd still be okay. You probably don't have to shoot anyone doing that. I didn't want to, but I figured that would be okay. And you're definitely saving people's lives doing a job like that, so I figured that would be okay. So I was really looking forward to it. And unfortunately, I got quite severely ill. This was when I was working for HSBC. And it was during that time that I got a little bit depressed and things went a bit awry. And that's when the Mohawk came in, first time round. I got full sleep to 2 while in lockdown. Chris Owen will bat an eye and return to the office in autumn. Maybe, man, maybe. 40k Tory question, are most out of London? Yes. Got a year in industry offer down there. I want to know how easy I'll be at the tournament fixture next year. So, the LGT, yes. Bad Moon Cafe, loads of tournaments down there. So, it sounds cool. It does sound cool, doesn't it? You know. 12 Hive Guard, Mallet Throat, 4-year-old Winged Hive Tyrant. So that'll be with double guns. Rippers, 12 Spores, D. McCarran, Barbed Hierodule, Side Hierodule. That's a good list. It's just, to add to that, frankly, you need a fuckload of things like Gene Stealers. And they're horrible to assemble. But the D. McCarran is great. Barbed and Side Hierodules are both really good right now. Kron's a Silent King, Void Dragon, bunch of warriors, 6 new destroyers, and a Hexmark guy, maybe a few more bits. If there's at least 60 warriors there, 60 warriors is, I think it's 260 for a block, so that's 2, 4, 6, 780. Silent King's 450, so that's 830, 1230. So you've got a really good start on a Necron army at that point. You need a load of Scarabs. Scarabs are cheap AF. And there's some characters. Like Chronomancers, obviously, is a big unit for you right now. I'd go Krons out of those two lists. A, it's the more competitive list, and B, I love Krons. And C, the Silent King is an absolute fucking cockhead to put together and paint. And so, you know, somebody else has done that work for you. I thought I was watching Rain Man for a moment there. I mean, look, I can't say that on air. I was going to say partially, you know how Flowing Prover contains a drying retarder? I was going to use a word very similar to that, and decided against it at the actual last moment. You know. So, yeah, moving on. Right, I think we've done okay with most of the shadows on this guy. I need to start working a few more darker ones into the crease here. So let's take some really dark purple, really dark purple, and glaze that out. So again, just thinning with water. Just work that shadow a little bit more. Well, that old bank days coming back. They never let me on the counter in the bank. Despite the fact that in the branch I finished up in, I was the only one that could do mental arithmetic. They never let me on the counter. I did one day on the counter in my previous branch, which was the Cheltenham Promenade branch, which was like a flagship branch. And my till balanced to the penny. Like, absolutely spot on to the penny. First time, no issues. So I thought, yeah, I'll be great. But no. Mostly because the old lass that sat behind the counter did not want to get out of her seat. Me and my group were hoping to travel to other comps last year, maybe try end of this year. Well, I'm still hoping. I don't know how many tournaments I've got tickets for, but I think I've got 4 in Bristol. Got 1 in Lincoln. 1 in Nottingham-ish area, like Mansfield. 1 in not in Amsterdam. 1 in Utrecht. 1 in Gibraltar. I think that's it. I fuck knows. Fuck knows. Basically, I'm waiting for tournament to start again so that I can like just like message someone and say, hey, have I got a ticket to this already? Dude, I had my Jib GT ticket the day they went live. So, not far from Mansfield, like 20 minutes away, same as such a shithole. It's a fucking terrible hole. I've got a great story about Mansfield women. Oh, this is horrible. This is so horrible. I might have told this one on stream before, but it's fucking hilarious. And Antonio and Angel, it would be great to see you guys. Definitely. So, you're going to get so wasted. Hey, I love Jib. There are parts of Jib that I don't like, which is basically the fact that it's mostly fat, thick English people that live there. And I'd much rather be, God, I hope Jackie's not on, chatting up some sexy little senorita than having to do anything with any of the expats out there. But Jib's a really nice place. We can go to... Wait, I don't even know what that name... Algeciras. It's not that. No, I'm lost. Sorry. And do Element Games, Hull's Angels, and if I recall correctly, one around Bristol, maybe Lincoln. Nice. It's a town in Spain, like 15 minutes by car. Oh, nice, dude. describe Huddersfield. Brilliant. We're about to describe Mansfield. Okay, so Mansfield is where Mikey runs the Hellstorm events at a place called Sanctuary Games. Now, they used to be in a church, and it was fucking cold. Really, really cold in there. In the winter, that's it. You froze your nuts off. In the summer, you sweated them off. There was no middle ground. It wasn't pleasant at all. But it was a cool venue because you were playing 40k in this properly old church. Like big fucking stone pillars that you couldn't like put your hands around. The church in Sutton. Yes, absolutely. That's where Sanctuary Gaming Centre was. And it was great. And they've now moved to a place that's like much more like in the town. It's right next to a Spoons, I think. Or like 2 doors down or something. And it's a lot smaller now than it used to be. But we went, like, I've been to every single Hellstorm 2-day event, and I've been to some of their 1-day events, because I normally wouldn't travel that far for a 1-dayer, because that's just a lot of time in a car, and I'd rather get to a tournament after being woken up somewhere in the morning locally and had a short drive than drive for like 3 hours, feel a bit like, oh, I'm so fucked off with the day already because I'm tired and everything else. I want to be able to enjoy my tournament experiences. So when we went to I'm pretty sure it was the third Hellstorm. Yeah, it was Hellstorm 3. It was the one that I won. Or was it Hellstorm 4? No, it had to be Hellstorm 3. When we went there were a few of us that bought a ticket, and then a friend of ours, Marley, bought a ticket late. He wasn't going to go, but then he was like, we're going. And his army was a bag of shit. Like, he really... I don't know what was going through his head, but never mind. Anyway, we got there. We went to Frankie and Benny's, and he's staying somewhere different to us. He's got an Airbnb about 10 minutes away from the venue on foot. We're staying in a place called Tibshelf, which is just outside of Mansfield. And it's nice enough. We've stayed at the same Airbnb 3 times now. It's a really, really cool place. Plenty of room. You can fit 5 if somebody doesn't mind sleeping on a sofa, so you can keep it real cheap for people. It's good. It's a solid place to be. But Marley's got his own accommodation. All right, sweet. So we all go to Frankie and Benny's for dinner. He goes off to check into his room after putting his order through. And he comes back. He's like, boys. Now, give you some background on Marley. Marley looks like an avocado that someone's left out in the sun. He has big specs. At the time, he's changed a lot. He's been like Mr. Workout for the last 2 years. He's hench. But at the time, not so much. Angry Hobbit Gaming! How you doing, bro? Thank you very much for that raid. Let's get a shout out in the stream, please. How was your stream? What were you up to? We're busy telling a story that may offend some younger viewers and may give their questions may give their parents some strange questions to answer. So if you fall into that category, you might want to close your ears or go away from the stream for the next 10 minutes. But we're describing a event that happened. We went to a tournament. And a friend of ours had just got to check into his Airbnb. He'd come back to where we were all eating dinner. And he's very, very, very excited. And the reason he's very, very, very excited is because he comes back and he's like, mate, boys. I've just checked into the Airbnb. And the woman that runs it is fit. She's like 40, Chinese, and she's fit. Alright. Right. And none of us can understand why he's so excited. Anybody else? Yeah. We can't understand why he's so excited. And he's like, oh, mate, she's so fit. She's so fit. So this is Friday night. Goes back. Saturday morning, We're all in Sanctuary. And he comes up and he's like, I'm telling you, she's so fit. She's having it. She's having it. I reckon I'm in. I reckon I'm in, boys. I reckon I'm in. All fucking day long. All we hear is this. Like, I'm in, boys. I'm in. I'm going back tonight. I'm going to... yes, absolutely. Whatever. You specky little twerp. It's just not happening. That's what we've got in our head, is he's building this up to be this thing, and it's not happening. So Saturday night, we'll go out for a meal. There's probably about 30 of us, go to a nice Indian. Really good Indian, in fact. Loved the food. It was banging. But that wasn't the only thing banging that night. When we're on our way home, Marley phones Jake, who's in the car. He's like, so... I told her I said to her this morning, I'm going out, and I'll see you later. And she thought that I meant that I checked out. But I haven't, because I fucking paid for 2 nights. And all my stuff is still there. And she's gone out for the evening. So she says that she won't come back for like another hour. So I've got to fucking sit around and wait for her to come back. And so we're all sniggering, because we're like, yeah, I mean, you were going to get it, and instead you got left outside. That's what you got. But okay. So I ask if he wants to turn around and pick him up. At least he can come and like sleep on the floor somewhere where we're staying. But he's like, no, she'll be like an hour or so. It's fine. Sunday morning. Gets better. We're ready to go for game 1. Marley turns up late, looking like shit. Like, literally looking like shit. Looks like he hasn't slept. And he's shaking. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Whatever. So he comes up. He's like, so. I'm like, oh god, here's a story I don't want to hear. How you doing? How's it going, mate? You alright? No. Okay, here's a story I might want to hear. What's up, dude? Right. So she came back, and she's in like a going out clothes, and she looked fit. Alright, like really, really fit. And she's a little bit tipsy, and she let me in. Right. Then she says she's going upstairs to change to something more comfortable. And I'm like, okay. And she comes down, and she sat next to me on the sofa, and we're watching TV, and we're just talking. And I'm like, I'm not like the other end of the sofa to her, but I'm like, and she's sort of, And she turns to me, and she looks at me, and she said, so are we going to do it, or what? And he went, I didn't know what to do, so he just said, do what? And she went, are we going to have sex or not? And apparently, and this is where there's a ring of truth to the story, I feel. Despite the fact that he wasn't, he panicked, allegedly, and just said, I'm a virgin. Now, for a lot of women, that might be a turn off. For some women, that might be a turn on. For this woman, she saw it as a business opportunity. And so said, 30 quid. So Marley fished in his pocket, brought out 30 quid, and off he went. Now, I'm not sure about the rest of you gentlemen, but I would consider it. I'm telling you now, Genghis Dong, great username by the way right now. If you hook up with a lady and it's a one night stand, or if you're a lady and you hook up with a guy and it's a one night stand, for the love of all that's fucking holy, put a lid on it, alright? if somebody's offering you sex for money, make sure you wear protection, because the reason that Marley looked like shit is because he'd slept not one fucking wink because he'd gone in there without. And so he was very worried that he'd either A, got chlamydia or something, or B, when Jake and I went, yeah, or she's pregnant, he really shit himself. So there you go, Mansfield. If she asks for money, use a full body hazmat suit. Mate, if she asks for money, like, just like politely decline, I feel, at that stage. But equally brave going with the oh, I'm a virgin kind of, you know, each to their own, right? But yeah. So 40k tournaments, guys, they're great fun. Jamartin, exactly. Like, there are so many worse things that could have happened. I still think that absolutely number one on that list is a lifetime of child support. But you meet a lot of interesting people. Yes, you do. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out. It was a very bold move. But yeah, 40k tournaments. It's not all people that are like, well, actually, I think you'll find that you move 6.021 inches. There's actually almost none of that. See, that would have been worth 50,000 channel points. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Believe it or not, that's not my only hooker story either. Right. Angry Hobbit Gaming getting that sub in. Absolute superstar. So, in fact, there's even more to that story. Alright, so this is the thing. This is the thing. So, Hellstorm 4 comes. We all go back. Marley doesn't go back. He stopped playing 40k at this point. He's going through a lot of, like, things. And he's decided to quit a lot of the stuff that he was doing to try and change his like lifestyle around a lot. And this is where he started working out and everything else. Very positive, good things happening in his life. Great stuff. Absolutely over the moon for him. But he decides not to go. We all go. And again, we go to the same Indian for dinner because it was banging the last time. Really, really good. Like, honestly, the best fucking biryani I've ever had in my life. And that says a lot. What he's saying is he maxed his primary, he's scoring his secondary. Mate, he barely scored his primary. He had to pay for it. You know, can't not sub with stories like that. Well, thank you very much. We're at a pretty high view count now with stories like this. I'm liking it. Now, a few of you might know who this person is, and so I won't say their name because they're relatively famous in the 40k community, and so I don't want to, like, I don't want them to have to explain this story from the other side of things, so we're not going to say their name. We went for an Indian, and sat across from me was this quasi-famous 40k player, and we were talking about this last time, and he went, hang on. It's a Thai woman. Cuthbert. Cool. Cuthbert says, hang on. It's a Thai lady. I went, well, he said Chinese, but he also doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. It could have been anything. You know, was it about 10 minutes walk away? And we all look at each other and we look at Cuthbert and we're like, yeah, you know, I think I'm fucking staying there. So he gets his phone out and he goes through the reviews, the Airbnb reviews on this place. And lo and fucking behold, there's Marley in there. 5-star review. Really good place, would happily stay again. So Cuthbert is like going to a cash point on the way. And that's still not my only hooker story. This place bangs. Yes. Yes, absolutely. That would have been the best review he could have left. Oh, lovely place. Banging. God. So when we were in Amsterdam, he was 30 quid poor in the morning. Well, no, he was not, actually. We asked him. Fucking first thing I did, I got into the Marley and Me, the story of the B&B. Brilliant. Blows the competition out of the water. My God. Best time I saw it happen at an event I wasn't even at. Some guy, who will not be named, was on stream with a woman sitting on his lap. And she was at home watching a stream. She saw her husband cheat on her during a Warhammer tournament. Was it an American man who was also at the LGT Invitational? No. Okay, it's not who I thought it was then. Why, basically. What a scumbag. Yes, we were in Amsterdam. And obviously the Netherlands is a red light district in several cities, I think. But Amsterdam obviously has one. Where a lot is legal. That isn't over here. And so you get a lot of tourists going out there for the obvious stuff. Now, frankly, whilst I have absolutely no ill will to anyone that makes a living doing what they do, it's not for me. It just isn't. Here's why, right? I was sat in a pub outside, and I could see some of the windows in the red light district, but I couldn't see into them. I could just see that they were there. And I was having a cigar and drinking a beer, because I'd learned that if you go to a bar, don't buy a soft drink, because chances are that will cost you more than whiskey, especially if you go to a bar that basically sells weed instead of sells just alcohol. And I found that out the hard way when I was charged fucking €6 for a pint of lemonade that I only bought so I could take a piss. So, having a beer, having a smoke, chilling out, just letting life go by, reading my book, chatting to a few mates on WhatsApp, that sort of thing. Seeing a different part of the world that I hadn't seen before. It was really just chill and enjoyable. But somebody at a window, in the space of an hour, serviced 5 people. Now, having worked in a service industry, catering, I know that when you're slammed, take that word in any way that you desire in the current example, when you're slammed, one of the first things that happens is you stop doing your clean downs in between like meals and so on. And if you take that example and move that across to that service industry, there's a phrase that a friend said to me a long time ago, which was, you don't stir another man's porridge. And what he meant was, you don't start talking to somebody else's lady. But in this case, I feel it would be shockingly appropriate. Anyway, that's one of the reasons. Not interested. Also, I don't smoke weed. It gives me a migraine being in the same room as someone smoking it, so I figured it'd probably be a real bad thing for me to smoke it. So most of the touristy things that you do in Amsterdam weren't my interest. But we went to it was a bar that had a load of coin-op arcade machines, and basically you threw a load of money over the bar, they gave you a load of tokens, you went and played, and me and a guy called Dean played House of the Dead for about 20 minutes. We fucking loved it. It was great fun. Absolutely had a blast. Go outside for some fresh air, and one of the Hellstorm lads, Toby, is stood there just doing the same thing, just trying to have a bit of a breather. And this guy, I see this guy walk up to him. He says, "Here, mate, you haven't got some money I could have, could you?" And that's a bit of a weird opener right there. So Toby just goes, "No, mate. No." And you're like, "Oh, come on, mate. I've just been to see," I'll try and be respectful, just been into one of the windows, and I was about to, like, get in there, and it wasn't a bird." You're like, hang on. Hang on. And she wouldn't give me my money back. And this guy was so incensed at that he was going around asking strangers for money to try and get his end away. One of my mates kept getting offered mushrooms. Fair. So I finished the first House of the Dead game legitimately and an arcade. Dude, I don't think I ever played the first one, but House of the Dead 3 I have played a lot of, and finished that when I was wrestling. Me and a guy I was wrestling with, Chris. Basically, that's what we do on our Fridays after our... Thursdays, sorry, after our Thursday match. Friday after the match, we just go home. Hey, brush licking, deal with it. It's at this point, it's a fucking ingrained habit. Very difficult habit to break when you've been doing it for 20 odd years. However, you never do it more than once when you've been using microsol and microset. Time Crisis was a classic. Loved that. Yeah, Dan. Oh shit, I have played that one in Danny. Well, that might have been House of the Dead 2. House of the Dead 3, we had the shotguns, and that was fucking epic. Never played the Overkill one. Do you mind? That's basically the same in any city, but I imagine some of it is slightly easier there than other places. Alright, taking some Signar Blue base, working that into the Incubi Darkness and a little bit of the purple, and we're just going to go with some of the brightest highlights on our extremely dark side of the Mini right now. Me and a mate finished, but when you're in a low-steam arcade and you throw your arms up in joy, oh dear. Oh dear. I wanted to go and see the Van Gogh Museum, but I had breakfast in this little, I say little, it fucking wasn't. It was like an industrial operation, but it's a cafe not far from it. And it was pissing down with rain, and the line was already enormous at 9 a.m. I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that. Instead, I ended up going to a place called Cigaragua, which is a cigar shop that specialises in Nicaraguan tobacco, which is what I prefer to smoke. And spent all day chatting to the lads there and smoking stogies. It was great. Really good, relaxed day out. Free coffee. Yeah, it's banging. I'm not a short guy, so it was waist deep in the tiles. Blamed the piss head and scattered. Brilliant. The I Am Amsterdam card is great value. Okay. Went there. Except it's a La Casa de Habanos. And whilst I like Cuban cigars, they are absolutely not within my flavour profile unless they've been aged for quite a few years. And whilst I have a very extensive humidor, it's definitely not my preferred set of flavours. Any recommendations for cigars? I mean, are you a cigar smoker? Or is it something you've never smoked before and you just want to try? Because I've got loads of recommendations for cigars, but some of them either you wouldn't enjoy because you need to build up a palate, same as anything, really. You need to find a way of tasting the flavours. or it's going to be too strong, you're going to end up throwing up. And if you get shoving in Dominican once, so it's going to be cheap out, one of the greatest cigars ever. Mate, there's a lot of really, really good Dominican tobacco. Arturo Fuente, fantastic. Smoked a few in the past, but nothing extensive. Okay. Danny, that sounds awesome, dude. I mean, you live in the UK, so there are ways of getting cigars not from the UK into the UK, same as there are ways of getting anything. Like, I know a lot of Americans with a big stash of Cubans, despite the fact it's not legal. But the best thing to do would be to go to something like, what's the name of his website? Fuck, Mike Choi has just opened his own cigar business, and the prices are really reasonable for UK tobacco. And he only carries boutique brands that nobody else carries. And Mike Choi is the guy that used to run the Bulgari cigar room, which is where Zeno Davidoff stored all of his cigars. VIP cigars, VIP tobacco, something like that. I'll try and look it out for you. Send me a message on Discord and I'll see what I can do for you, bro. Right, that is pretty much the shadows on the back of Lenny. We've got highlights in there. We can see a lot of detail. Nothing like super crazy. So the next stream is going to be all about doing this side, which is going to be a lot more involved. We've done a lot of the shadows on this already. You can see we've got a lot more detail than we had before. Actually, thinking about it, I need to shadow down the back of Carl's head a little bit more. So that's something I've yet to properly try. I had one of the cheap hammers my Year 11 prom 14 years ago. Definitely want to try a decent one at a special occasion. I smoke probably 3 or 4 a week. Boutique smokes. Thank you, X-Adventurer. That's it. It's something that I can take or leave. So some weeks I won't smoke at all. Some weeks I'll smoke nearly every day. These days, because I don't have so much time, that doesn't happen. So I tend to go for a walk with a cigar. And it's a really nice way of just chilling my head out. One of the things that I really like about cigars is the fact that it's 2 hours of just the world fucks off and leaves me alone. And it's really nice to have that time. It's probably the only time I have that time is when I'm having a smoke. And it just lets me sort my head out. We've all got things that we need to deal with that sort of creep up in our daily lives, and that's my way of dealing with it. Absolutely drunk Mystic. I've smoked cigars for more than 10 years. I've written for... I've had a paid job as a writer for a cigar website before. We've reviewed cigars and everything else. It's been a big part of my life. It's been an expensive part of my life. Don't get me wrong, I've made friends through cigars that have been lifelong friends. One of them was the best man at my wedding, and I met him on a cigar Reddit. Yeah. He's a brother. It's that simple. Right, I reckon we're done on the shadows. We've got those highlights in there. What we need to do is balance that well with this. So from this side, you can see there's blue, you can see there's purple, you can see all of these things, right? As soon as we do that, bam, it's blown away. You don't see any of it because this is bright, it's light, it lifts it up. And so this point here is super important. We need to get that transition light to dark and have both of them showing through. And the only way to do that is to start our highlights going on and then work the shadows up enough so they're still present. So, plenty of work to do. We've spent basically the night painting a little bit of green and mostly blue and purple. So thank you for sticking with me, all of you. we've had quite a decent number of viewers now, which has been really good. So cheers. Got a poke smoking lunch, different straights. I don't smoke cigarettes. I've never smoked cigarettes, but cigars are great. Have so much in your bad place. Yeah, fuck yeah. Like I was getting a little bit, not depressed, but a little bit just like stir crazy and a bit like with lockdown, and it took going out for a walk, like a long walk, 5 miles with a stogie, for the first time to realise there was still life outside these 4 walls, and I could go and do things and stuff. So for me, it's a really, really important part of my life. Both Jackie and I like going for walks. Yesterday evening, we walked 6.5 miles at -3 because it was a nice night. You know, it was just cold, but it was a nice night. Any tips on how to blend 2 colours into a nice gradient without an airbrush? Yeah, loads. The one that I would suggest to everyone, and it's not the most glamorous one, and it is a bit more of a hard work one, is you do layered glazing. So you will take a part of the miniature, so you know how this was blue earlier on perhaps, and you will glaze a colour over that again and again and again and again and again until you've built up enough opacity. You don't have to do it with glazes, you can do it with just very thin paint that isn't a glaze. We've done that quite a bit on stream. Check out the Armiger we did last month on the Pro Acryl Challenge. The chainsword, we did a blend up from like a dark red at the bottom of it up to a bright red on the top of it very quickly, and it definitely is an easy way of making it work for you. So give that a shot, mate. Go from medium to long walk every single day. That's like a crazy in this tiny room. Yeah, I'll bet. 18 miles. Jesus, that's a decent one. AJ, I can imagine, mate. Lockdown is horrible. Calm received so many more calls when lockdown started. It's madness. Right, let's go to the whip. It is whip time. We're starting off with a Drunk Mystic, and he's still going strong with this Bone Reapers thingamajig. I'm really glad, dude. I'm hoping you've found a way of coping, essentially. It's good. Anyway, exclamation point whip. Go for it. So the Drunk Mystic, it's done. I feel like I've made so many loops with this guy I can use moving forward. Thanks for your advice, dude. Please don't hate me for the dry brush base, but to stay in theme with the whole army. Wait. We're skipping this now. That's enough from you. I'm joking. All this means is you've got to rebase the rest of the army. That's all. This looks great, mate. I'm liking it. Let's get a side-on shot. Oh, we got a butt shot. We'll do the side shot first. I want to look at these armor panels. We haven't seen these yet. Yeah, they're all right. They're very desaturated. I was expecting them to be a little bit more like punchy, but if that's what you've done the rest of your army in, it will obviously fit. Love that little bit of a purple in the like the blade on the arm. That looks great. No, I'm liking it, mate. Well done. Well done. You've definitely pushed yourself with this mini. So I can see massive improvements in this from when you started showing me it to now. Looks really good. Nice work. RGE Wolf continuing working on my Blood Ravens. This guy's stolen that standard. Looks good. Some of that bone looks a little thick. Looks like you've got a bit of a texture going on, especially on the helmet. Bone is something that takes usually quite a lot to cover a surface. One of the things that I would suggest is, rather than starting with bone, start with something like Steel Legion Drab, some sort of light brown that you can use. That'll go on in 2 coats, and the bone will cover that very, very easily without having to work thick with it. So you can use some nice thin paint and still achieve that effect. Also, it's already there in the recesses for your shadows, means you don't have to do a wash. You can get a nice smooth blend going up with it. There's a lot going on. What do you mean by desaturated? Let me show you. In fact, is there something here that I can use to show you rather than on your Mini? Because the pictures will already block some of it out. Let's go back to here quick. All right. So, if we look at Lenny's skin here, all right, there's a lot of colour to it. There's a lot of pigment to it. Now, most of that pigment is yellow. Obviously, we've sort of layered over the top of it. And there's even more of that right here. If we turn him up on his head, where some of this is barely covering the colour that's right next to it, this blue, this is desaturated. There's less saturation of the area with colour. Okay? So, a saturated, bright, bold armour colour, and I was expecting these bits of armour to be a little bit more sort of jade, a little bit more stand out than what you've got here. Because of the way that I paint, the style I paint, that's what I would normally go with. Ru-Tang! 13 months, like an absolute beast. How are you doing, champ? Thanks for coming in. So what you've done here, you've got something that hasn't got a whole lot of colour. Imagine that you've got like a little dial on the miniature, and you can turn it down and it goes into like black and grey scale, and you turn it all the way up and it becomes super bright, super vivid, vibrant colours. That's saturation, one end to the other. Hope that helps. IG Wolf said, okay, I did wash your Agrax. Sounds good. But yeah, like I said, I think it's just that the bone, because you've put it on maybe over a couple of coats that weren't as thin as they needed to be, you can see a bit of a texture on there. Looks really good though. Bear with me just one moment. Did you freehand that? Trying to work out if freehand or decal. Jemani says transfer. I'm still giving you the benefit of the doubt. Ah! Damn. Damn. Applied really well. No silver. Oh, I can just see a little line up there at the top. But there's no silvering or anything on it. So really, really good work. Solid, dude. Yeah, keep it up, man. Doing well. Although that base rim needs to be black. Lieutenant Amalus. Yes. I really want to paint this guy. I really, really want to paint this guy. I've got him up on the shelf. He's going to be one of the test models we do. We're going to do Sergeant Joven as a test model for my Deathwatch army, I think. Potentially at some point during this month's streaming schedule. We'll see. We'll see. Looking great though, dude. Keep it up. Admiral Ants, my Plague Marine with a Sigil of Decay. Really took my time with this one. I think it's my best one so far. That's good. The light you've taken a photo up with this one isn't quite as good as normal, I don't think. But yeah, looking grand, dude. Looking really, really solid. Try that purple wash over gold, and I love the look. Yes. Remember, do the purple, then do the flesh wash over the top of it. Gotta go. Gotta be the way. Master Mouse says, hey man, I've always wanted to try my hand at airbrushing, but look at the Element Games beginner/intermediate bundle, which has a lot of YouTube vids with so many different options on it. Any advice for a beginner? Thanks. First off, don't buy an airbrush at Element Games. As much as I'd love for someone to spend that much money at Element and use my affiliate link, it's not the right place to do it. Now, there's a caveat to that. If you want to buy a really good airbrush setup, they have the compressor that I use, the Iowata Silverjet, and it's at a decent price. It's about 150 quid, which is a little less than what I paid for mine. I think I paid 160. And obviously at that point, you'll get a lot of discount. Sorry, not a lot of discount. What the fuck am I trying to say? Well, you would get a lot of discount. You're going to get the free shipping on it, because it's over the 80 quid. But Element will charge you a lot more than the normal places for an airbrush setup. And so my advice for any beginner is just go to Amazon, because you're going to find something there that is going to give you a decent output for a beginner. There's no point spending hundreds of pounds that you don't necessarily need to spend to find that you don't like it. Alright, so my original setup is on permanent load to my housemate. It's a cheap Chinese-made compressor and airbrush that I painted 3 armies with. They're all decent quality. One of them qualified for no retreat, so that was at least good quality, you know. But you can do a lot with a cheap airbrush. My own airbrush, just the brush part of it, cost more than that entire setup. And I definitely would recommend this as an airbrush to anyone, but not from Element. We've been using a place... oh, fuck, I've forgotten the name of it. It's in the links section on Discord, I'm pretty sure. How's Silverjet compared to standard? The Silverjet is a beast. It's an absolute beast. We've ran it for 16 and a half hours on stream, constantly, and it's not given up. It's not gotten hot. It is designed for, basically, it's designed for going in nail salons and it being worked all day, constantly, and hammered. And so it does the job on what I need to do really, really well. 100%, that is the one to go for. It's relatively quiet. It's very powerful. You know, it'll charge up the hose to 45 psi. It's good. It's really good. Gets the Mohawk seal of approval. Yeah, looking great, dude. Looking really, really good. Well done. However, draw that barrel. Take a craft knife. Do a little, like, not incision, but just like a little sort of bit of pressure both ways to get it all across. And then put the knife into the mini and rotate the knife. And you'll get a perfect little drilled barrel every time. So thanks for having a look at Amazon's deals. Mainly want it for base layers and just learn something new. Honestly, that's where I started. Make sure you pick up plenty of flow improver. Get yourself an airbrush spray cup. I still haven't changed the filter in that, by the way. So it's a Mason, not a bolter. I mean, that's definitely a bolter. Like, definitely a bolter. Ex-Adventurer, 1 nearly done, 9 more to go, then I'm out of minis. The world will end if you finish your backlog. Alright? You can't finish your backlog. That's Armageddon talking. Looks tight though. Nice, focused highlights. Very crisp. It's been a while since I've seen a mini marine as well. But I want my GW from elsewhere now, to be honest, but won't mention it due to Jay's affiliate link. I know there are places that are cheaper, but none of the places that are cheaper, with the exception of Glasshammer, does anything for the hobby. Therefore, Element get my money. Looking good, dude. Let's see what we got here. Batch painting some more. Nice. Very nice, bro. Very, very nice. Keep them going. I do like Ultramarines. Air. Pretty sure he is done, but no doubt I'll find more. Was fun, though. Nice. That's a really, really good colour you got on the armour there. I like that a lot. I like little bone elements to it. I'm kind of impressed by this. What is to make a white ink I use? It's FW ink from Dollar Rounding. Yeah, absolutely, Jamai. 100%. Like, I love Manny. Manny's an absolute fucking boss. And Dan is a legend. Manny is one of my favourite people I've met in the hobby. But Element provides so much support for so many content creators. So the paint to pin the wings, though, like you said, yeah, Christ. But the thing is, though, if you haven't done that, as soon as you move him, he's fucking doing this everywhere. It's worrying. So I love what you've done here, though. The nice bright pink of those wings, Really helps stand out against the rest of it. I like the dead skin look that you've got to his face. This is a really, really well done mini. You should be very proud of this, mate. Top work. Top work. Needs to do a lot of cleanup, says Crazy Anked. He's looking good, though. Very sloppy base for him. Lots of verdigris on that. Like a lot of verdigris. It's nice. Don't often see dirty custodes. Not often. I'm liking it. I think the yellow around the axe blade, the gold there, has got a little bit too blue. Whether that's verdigris or whether that's just some overspray or something, perhaps. So probably knock that back a little bit. Blends in a little bit too much otherwise, but I love the pink. Nice. That's some extremely shiny ass gold. On that cape, look at that gold. That is like mirror finish. Is that the alcohol-based stuff? So, Airfield, you've done great. Honestly, mate. I want to say for someone that's painted a year, I mean, you've done great for someone that paints minis. You've done really, really well. So, you've got a strange guy in the background with a mohawk. Haha. Got a more base now. Got a more base. Now I'm to prime and get painting. Nice. Awesome. Get those assault intercessors on deck. These are great minis. Amalus. Everyone's doing Amalus now, which is good. And is that the same guy? Yeah. Nice, mate. Get on him. Gummer. Right, here we go. Love these. Got another 50 to do this batch. Cherubs are quite fun to paint. They are, aren't they? Liquid chrome. Nice. Yeah, the cherubs, anything like that, because it's a completely different aspect to the miniature, it is just fun. Nuns with guns. I love this scheme. Careful with some of those highlights you've got on the cloth there. They are a little sharp. Some of those brushed highlights. Maybe just glaze some of the sort of turquoise teal back over that to take it away a little bit. Yeah, to me that's just a little bit too bright, too fast. But I love the scheme. Really, really love this scheme. Doing great work as always, man. Got you. Oh. Sorry, folks. Nivius did some test schemes on the back. Good. Yeah, that's come out all right. That's good. You've got your eye in now, right? AJ, peace out, man. Getting bored with us 2 hours, yeah. Trust me, when you're doing a big batch of stuff for a commission or whatever, I know the feeling. He says, looking at his desk of Blood Angels. I love painting. I really do. I even like painting Marines. I've no issue with painting Marines. But it's a lot of stuff all at once. It can be a little bit like, oh, God, I just got to do this one thing. Yeah, you got your eye in. You can do the front of it now, no issue, I'm sure. How did you find doing the back part is the real question. So, Cake Fisk, I need to change color on the armor bits and redo the skin, he says. This is this one of the Warcry things? Skin did end up a little blotchy. Yeah. Thin your paint just a little more. That should help. Interesting mini. You got loads of detail on those wings, all those veins that you could pick out as well. Converted Kinari Life Taker. I think that's what we got out of that. Interesting mini though, I like it. My batch painted 50 chain rasp from Nighthawk. I did 30 Mortek Guard. I said I'd sooner do his 50 any day of the week. Fuck yeah. Chain rasps are just like airbrush this, airbrush that, glaze it all over in one colour, done. Next. Do some metallics. Rev. Oh shit, look at this. He's getting all on board the Orc train. Got Gazzy down at the bottom. I Spy Gaz. Daughters of Cain. Cheers. Sigma. All Sigma stuff, you know. I must say I really like how nicely laid out your workstation is. I love those very clean cutting mats that you've got, but I could not have anything like that on my desk. I really couldn't. I clean my desk every Monday, right? I'm gonna break the stream now. Let me zoom this right out, and then if I undo that, look at the desk. Yeah, look at how horrible that desk gets. So yeah, not a big fan of the. I wish I had this perfectly clean environment. Looking good, man. Looking good. Plenty to do though. Plenty to do. Get on those boys. Smash through them. Angry Hobbit, not the final base. Snotling Pump Wagon. Fuck yes. Is this a current one or is this the old one? I know there's been a few different versions of this. We're on the wrong screen. I know. Cheers, Des. I got there before your text came in. We win this time. New Blood Bowl stuff. Nice. God, these things are bloody brilliant. I love how much detail this has got. Yeah, it must be the new one. You look at all the fucking dents in that frying pan. Solid work, bro. Still haven't played the brand new Blood Bowl. Still haven't. Obviously, haven't played much, actually, but we'll probably end up getting it. Looking swish, though, bro. Looking swish. Like that wood effect. Really nice kind of a sort of ashen timbers. It's nice. Waiting for the Castlemaine 4X. Yeah. No Bugman 6X then. Cheapskate. Rutang, the work so far. Okay, here's big old Bobby G. Nice. I see you've definitely got that purple wash down there. Did you do the flesh wash as well over the gold? Because that will really bring that luster right back up. Love everything Blood Bowl, from comedy to the minis to the game itself. I've been playing Blood Bowl probably since like the mid-90s. And I've introduced it to various friends over the years. And Blood Bowl, I find, gets played for a little while and then leagues always either finish or self-destruct. And they tend to self-destruct at the sound of someone going, "Fucking dice!" and binning dice across a room. Because they fail to go for it, or their mates broke armor, or something like that. AC Miniatures coming in hot with a raid. We are almost at the end of the stream, but thank you very, very much for joining. Really appreciate it. How is your stream? Let's get a shout out for these guys, and I will give you a follow as well. Boom. There you go, dude. Let's avoid the repeated thing. Peckish! How you doing, brother? What's the purple and gold? So X-Adventure, are you on Patreon? There's both a video viewer and a weekly reader version of my guide on how to paint gold. It explains it really, really well. But basically, Purple is the opposite side of the color wheel to yellow. Gold is metallic yellow. Therefore, it works brilliantly as a shadow color for your gold. Kiko1414, thank you very much for that Prime sub, you absolute boss. Chicken Patty, how you doing? My next Blood Bowl League ended with an organizer's vampire dying round 1. Brilliant. Fortunately, hey, it's no worries, dude. Like I said, wash it with purple, and then you wash it with a flesh wash, and you get the most incredible gold, of which I don't have any on my desk. Yes, I do. I do have gold on my desk. I knew I had gold on my desk. So, here's some gold. So, the guide on how to paint this guy is on YouTube tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. !YouTube. All of how to do the armor, the red armor, is going to be on that episode. But the gold, as you can see, has got a lot of depth to it, even on just these smaller elements. Retains a lot of shine and is full of color. It's beautiful, beautiful gold. Very simple, very straightforward, very quick. So, purple is the way. But yeah, tomorrow morning, this guy's up on YouTube. How to Paint Blood Angels Part 1. The following week, the how to paint the rest of the miniature will be on Patreon. So all of the check patterns, how to do all the bits like the cloak and the shield and so on and so on and so on. Especially these power swords will be over on Patreon. So you've got that to look forward to as well. And then, over the next couple of episodes, we're going to do Orc Skin as one of them. We've been working on the How to Paint Space Marine Tanks episodes, as you can see. So this tank is about halfway through the airbrush stage. Got a lot more to do to that to really amp up the red. It's good. And so there's lots going on. Plenty going on. Today, though, we painted this dude. We carried on the work on basically the back part of it, where we got all of these shadows, keeping him very much in the dark as part of our diorama. We've got him walking towards that furnace that's casting this beautiful, bright light. Loads and loads and loads left to do on this guy. We're probably looking at least end of next week's streams. At least. Alright? It's a lot of fun, though. I'm enjoying it. Anyway, let's go find somebody else to raid into. Let's see who's here on Twitch. Jimmy's on, but we raided Jimmy recently. Flickster, we raided recently. Malev, haven't raided for a week or two. Goliath, oh, he's playing Assassin's Creed, so we're not going there. Let's see who else is on. Moyles is on. Let's see, Matt Yee is on. What's Matt painting? We don't really get to raid him. One for Flick. What the? Alphil. Studying Windrunner. Cool. Skeptic! How you doing, bro? Is how to do lightning on power weapons on Patreon or YouTube? Neither, actually. It's on YouTube because Darren Latham did it. I kind of want to raid Matt because he's maybe no. Okay, I've not seen this person before. Jamartin is. Suggest we go and raid. I'm not sure what she's painting. It's mostly it's one of these streams. So if we get another vote for Alfield Windrunner, I think. Then we'll go there. 2 dogs, 1 brush. It's possible. It's possible. The choice of 3 so far. Let's get a tiebreaker decision in. Try the new one. And if I'm honest, nothing against the guy, but I don't really enjoy his streams. Do you mind? That'd be really, really shit to raid Glasshammer at the end of a battle report that someone might want to go and watch. So, you know, we're definitely not going to be doing that. Like, spoilers in 3, 2, 1, raid! Okay. Well, I can't really see what this lass is painting. I mean, I'm sure she's lovely and all that, but it's kind of a just chatting stream with a streaming in the distance. Stiff Neck Studio, is he on? Holy shit. He is on. Oh, we're going here. Follow this guy on Instagram. Also, I see Faces and Bases has already fucking made his way over there as well. Like, oh, I'm just going to wander away from Jay's stream and that's saying goodbye. So we're going to Stiff Neck Studios. When we get there, show the man some love. Spam the chat with all of the emotes. We'll see you guys on the next stream Saturday morning, remember, 11 a.m. And of course, go check out the YouTube video tomorrow at 10 a.m. when it goes live. Peace out, everyone. We'll see you soon.